Hello and welcome to the CGI Live interview series from the 7th African Agricultural Science Week happening this week in Kigali, Rwanda. My name is Bola Adewale. I'm the Communication Officer for SADC Project, and today I'm being joined by Dr. Sidi Sanyang, the Rice Commodity Specialist of the SADC Project, and we are going to discuss how the work of the CGIAR is working in Africa towards the goal of applied science impacts livelihoods, which is the theme of this year's event. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, I want you to tell me how SADC Rice Component is participating in this week's event.
Thank you, Bola. The AfricaRice component of the SADC project, which is the rice value chain, is participating at a higher level, starting with the Director General himself of the AfricaRice Center, who personally, Grace, attended the side event of SADC. We also strongly put up a stand, participated in the stand, the exhibition with videos, posters, rice-based products, rice seeds in partnership with our other city centers, IITA, ICADA in particular.
Thank you, sir. The theme of this year's event is Applied Science Impacts Livelihoods. Can you please tell me what this means to you and give me an example from your work that demonstrates you are trying to achieve this through the SADC rice components?
One of high impact technologies I will not hesitate is the gem rice parboiler for women, rice processors, value addition in parboiling. For instance, today we have reached over 2,000 households through the gem parboiler in one country alone, in Benin in general. And we are now moving into Nigeria, in Nasarawa, and Niger in Gaya in Niger. These are the rice hubs of AfricaRice and their national partners, the countries that have selected some of these. So one of our high impact technology on livelihoods today is this gem parboiler on over 2,000 households. So by the time we go to Nigeria, I'm sure we will be able to reach 3,000 to 4,000 households. And this is just one technology. I'm not talking of the other technologies.
Thank you, sir. This year's event sees many organizations involved in agricultural research for development come together to discuss agriculture and science in the region. What is the role of and potential impact of partnerships in achieving the SADC goals?
Partnerships is key, is the key. I mean, no one organization has all the wherewithal to do and respond to the diverse needs, aspirations in terms of food security, income, livelihood changes on the populations we serve. So partnership is key. It brings the best of science, it brings the best of local knowledge, local context, it brings the best of people collectively learning together, taking collective action to solve complex problems. So we have to realize that value chain itself is a complex issue. There are many enterprises in a commodity value chain, and how do you make sure you have all the human competencies and skills in addition to the infrastructure needed, that the market, you can respond to a market in an efficient way. So to do that well, you have to be in partnership with multiple organizations at various levels, at the grassroots level, at the national level, at the regional level, and at the global level.
From your experience, why do you think that Africa deserves more investment in agriculture?
Oh, I think we all agree that the majority of our populations are in agriculture, and they are the majority of those are the poor also. So it makes common sense, just common sense, to invest in agriculture so that we can improve the very poor or the people at the bottom of the poverty index, so that we begin to lift them out, and then with time we can think of how to get those hands and skills into other sectors. But we must start with agriculture, because it's quite obvious that a lot of studies by IFPRI, quite a number of studies by IFPRI demonstrate that agriculture is a key to unlocking poverty. So we have the research evidence. So it makes sense to invest. If we say we are going to reduce poverty, we are going to tackle poverty, then agriculture is a sensible start point to address that.
Yeah. Since you became the rice commodity value chain specialist, what are the most promising agriculture technology innovations that you have been working on, and how are they being shared with African farmers? Can I repeat it?
Thank you. From seeds to the agronomy to the mechanization, the processing, the value addition, and market. But we also always begin from the market. Look at the demand, because that is what is most sustainable. Not production, productivity is important, but the market pool is even more critical. So from those we work backwards. So if I look at the rice value chain, from the market perspective, you need quality rice grain, what we really eat. To get that, you need quality paddy, the one we harvest, and then we take the paddy grain from the trash, from the straw. Okay, so those are critical. To get that, you must be able to have good seed. You must sow. Seed become an important component of rice SADC. You must be able to do the best of agronomy. So we have our rice advice, which can tell farmers the amount of fertilizer they need for a particular piece of land they are cultivating. In relation to the research recommendation, we have our our mechanical weeders that is help reduce the drudgery, sometimes up to 50% for women. We have the rice threshers. Now we even call it multi-crop thresher. It was developed for rice, but it became good for wheat, cowpeas, and even maize. Okay. Then we are right now developing a motorized weeder, a prototype motorized weeder for the lowlands. Then we have you go to parboiling, milling. So it's a whole set of enterprise along the rice value chain that we are looking at, so that we can, at the end of the day, meet the quality market for urban consumers. Because rice in the rural areas, they eat the rice that is grown, and they buy it. But the urban population and the cities, high-end markets, that's where the challenge is. And that's where we are putting all these technologies, innovations in a form of enterprise business models that can respond to the market demand.
The last question, sir. From your recent work, can you share with us an example that demonstrates lasting impacts in Benin on the farmers in food security?
From our recent work, We have quite a number of them. Like in the rice advice, in the agronomy, it can increase rice yields by 1 ton per hectare. Just helping farmers through using that tool to be able to apply the right amount of fertilizer, not necessarily based on the recommendation, but based on their affordability, what they can have, the money they have. They cannot get the recommended amount by research. We can advise them on how much to use that money in an efficient way, effective way on a piece of land that they are able to farm, and they can increase their production by 1 ton a hectare. We also have high quality, high yielding rice varieties. That goes in Madagascar, for instance, Nerika 4 is 1.5 ton a hectare last season. That's what we got in the upland area. In the lowland, we have Nerikas that are 6 to 7 tons per hectare. But what is important in this case of SADC is how we have been able to intervene in this area with private sector seed growers, seed entrepreneurs, SMEs, small to medium seed entrepreneurs in Uganda, for example, where we have gone up to 250 tons of certified seed, and all this has been sold in active participation with private sector. Also in Nigeria, with working with local artisan manufacturer and the manufacture of acid threshers, multi-crop acid threshers, Haniga, we're making good strides there.
From your recent work, we want you to share with us an example that demonstrates lasting impact in the lives of farmers, economy, food, nutrition, and security.
Lasting impact, I am sure, I am positive. Women, when they have their heart in something, they do it, and they do it well, and they own it. So the gem parboiler, I am sure, is not only going to be a scalable innovation, but it's also going to be lasting. The women will sustain this. The youths are coming into it. They see opportunity to be able to work with alongside their mothers, their sisters in the community, to be able to package these rice products, help them in the what I call cottage industry, because it is coming into that level. We have installed all these things in the communities. But there are other accompanying innovations, the rice advice, the thresher, and some of the packaging materials we are bringing in, and then the policy and institutional issues that enable it. So these are all going to be enablers for quality rice in terms of milled rice and parboiled rice. So I am very hopeful that the women farmers, the youths that are in the rural areas, and that's all where they know they don't necessarily move out. Those are the kind of people we are targeting to ensure lasting impact, sustainability in the business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Sidi Sanyang. Our viewers have listened to what he has said. He's been so educative and informative about the activities and the achievements of the rice value chain. Thank you so much.